The SNP has recorded a historic landslide general election victory in Scotland, winning 56 out of 59 seats. Labour has been left with just one MP in Scotland, with Scottish leader Jim Murphy, Douglas Alexander and Margaret Curran among those losing their seats. The Liberal Democrats lost 10 seats with only Alistair Carmichael holding on in Orkney and Shetland. The Conservatives held Dumfriesshire, Clydesdale and Tweeddale, the other seat to withstand the SNP tsunami. The scale of the SNP's rout of Labour is unprecedented. It won by 10,000 votes in Kirkcaldy and Cowdenbeath, which had previously been held by former UK Prime Minister Gordon Brown. In East Renfrewshire, the SNP's Kirsten Oswald defeated Mr Murphy, who had been defending a majority of 10,400, by 3,718 votes. The SNP has won 56 seats, the Tories, Lib Dems and Labour have just one each. That sees Scotland's political map changed from a distinctive red/orange to a widespread yellow. The defeat will leave major questions about whether Mr Murphy can continue as Scottish Labour leader, with former Labour MP Ian Davidson, who lost his Glasgow South West seat to the SNP's Christopher Stevens, having already called for him to resign. Harry Black, who becomes the UK's youngest MP at the age of 20, overturned former Shadow Foreign Secretary Douglas Alexander's majority of 16,600 in Paisley and Renfrewshire South to win by 5,684 votes, a swing of 27% from Labour to the SNP. The SNP also gained Edinburgh South West, which had previously been held by Labour's former Chancellor Alistair Darling. Labour's former Shadow Scottish Secretary Margaret Curran was defeated by more than 10,000 votes by the SNP's Natalie McGarry in Glasgow East. Losing trust. Alan Brown was elected as the new SNP MP for Kilmarnock and Loudon, which was the first seat in Scotland to declare, with 30,000 votes. Over Labour's Cathy Jamieson, who polled 16,362 votes. SNP leader Nicola Sturgeon, who was at the Glasgow count at the Emirates Stadium, told the BBC that Labour had been losing the trust of the people of Scotland over a period years. She added, "What we're seeing tonight is Scotland voting to put its trust in the SNP to make Scotland's voice heard, a clear voice for an end to austerity, better public services and more progressive politics at Westminster. That's what we now intend to do." Throughout the election campaign, Ms Sturgeon had been hoping to form a progressive alliance with other parties to bring about change at Westminster. But with the Conservatives on track to be the largest party again, she insisted Labour could not blame her party for its failure to win across the UK. Labour leader Ed Miliband said his party had been overwhelmed by a surge of nationalism in Scotland. Speaking after winning his Doncaster North seat, Mr Miliband added, "I want to say to all the dedicated and decent colleagues in Scotland who've lost their seats that I'm deeply sorry for what has happened. And I also want to say that the next government has a huge responsibility in facing the difficult task in keeping our country together. Whatever party we come from, if we believe in the UK, we should stand up for people in every part of our United Kingdom. Because I believe what unites us is much, much more than what divides us." The UK collapse of the Liberal Democrats' vote was also mirrored in Scotland, with the SNP the main beneficiaries. Former Liberal Democrat leader Charles Kennedy lost his Ross, Skye and Lochhaber seat to the SNPC in Blackford. Mr Kennedy had held the seat for 32 years. And former Lib Dem Chief Secretary to the Treasury Danny Alexander lost by more than 10,000 votes to Drew Hendry of the SNP in Inverness, Nairn, Badenoch and Strathspey. The SNP's John Nicholson also defeated Lib Dem incumbent Joe Swinson in Dunbartonshire East. Lion roaring. The results mean that the SNP has recorded its most successful general election ever. Its previous best was in October 1974, when it won 11 seats. The party won 6 seats in 2010. Among its new MPs is former party leader Alex Salmond, who will be returning to the House of Commons after winning the Gordon constituency from the Liberal Democrats. Mr Salmond, who served as an MP between 1987 and 2010, said, "There's going to be a lion roaring tonight, a Scottish lion. and it's going to roar with a voice that no government of whatever political complexion is going to be able to ignore. I think it's going to be a resounding voice, a clear voice, a united voice from Scotland, and I think that is a very good thing. Results from elsewhere in the UK suggest the Conservatives are on course to be the largest party, with David Cameron still hopeful of gaining a majority. Mr. Cameron said his aim was to govern on the basis of governing for everyone in Britain and to bring our United Kingdom together by implementing devolution reforms in Scotland and Wales. He said he would pursue a one-nation agenda if I am fortunate enough to form a government in the coming days. London Mayor Boris Johnson, who is returning to Westminster as a Tory MP after winning Uxbridge and South Ruislip, said, "There has to be some kind of federal offer to Scotland. Everybody needs to take a deep breath and think about how we want the UK to progress." I think even most people in the SNP, probably in their heart of hearts, most people who voted SNP tonight, do not want to throw away absolutely everything.